Okay, we're back to fixing this carburetor float, and what you're going to need is solder paste flux, a little brush, solder wire. Here I have solid wire, steel wool, and your soldering iron, a good hefty one. This one's made by Weller, and a pan to put it in so it doesn't burn anything. So you start off by cleaning the surface that you're going to solder the steel wool until it gets nice and shiny, like so. See that? Do the same thing to the mating surface of this piece that fell off. Very cheaply done, only that little bit was soldering. So do the best you can. A lot nicer. Open up your solder paste flux. Not much left. That's okay. Don't need much. Just take a dab of that and spread it on. And onto the opposite piece as well. Then we're going to want to place it as accurately as we can. I think that's about right. Hopefully. And then we're going to unwind some of this wire. And we're going to apply the heat to one side, and we're going to apply the solder to the other. So we're just going to put this on and let it rest until we see the solder, the stuff bubble out the other end. May not work as well as you want. We don't know how hot this is going to be. And of course this moves, and that's what's going to happen. So you just have to keep trying it until it works. Just put a little more solder on. Reapply this bit. Now we know that this time we're going to have to try and get the solder and the iron on the same side. Alright, and hopefully we've positioned this fairly well. It seems to fit right there from the old solder. So very carefully put this on, and we're going to see if we can sneak some solder underneath there. It moved. So just heat that up again. Let's move it back. Do the same thing to the other side. Alright. And you've just fixed your float bowl. It's very hot. it will now work. Out. So there you go. That's how you resolder that back on. Make sure that the float bowl was intact and there was no gasoline inside, otherwise you'd have a small explosion. Alright, thank you very much. At the beginning of this video, I gave you a rundown of the parts you're going to need to rebuild this carburetor. I forgot a few things. You're going to need some gasket remover spray. Maybe some of this copper spray a gasket or something similar. And a gasket scraper. Alright, so I'm just going to put on my gloves. I got some rosin paper on the tabletop to soak in any of the chemicals, protect the table. So we're going to want to spray this old surface to get rid of that bit of gasket. And it smells real nasty. And then we try to move the stuff clear off. Reapply. Let it sit and soak a little bit. And scrape. Don't scrape too hard, just let the chemicals do the work. Good thing about the rosin paper, you can clean your instruments right on it. Again, scrape. Keep reapplying. A little bit of a messy job, but you'll get it done. Take a paper towel, wipe the surface, see how you've done. And that's good enough for our purposes, and we're just going to start cleaning this out with some carburetor cleaner. I'll be right back. Okay, one last thing before we start cleaning this. We have to remove the needle valve assembly, or whatever it's called. This is the part where the gas comes into the float bowl. Take your needle nose pliers and trying to get it onto the sides of the hex. Squeeze and turn counterclockwise. Or you can try inside. I like to do the outside hex. There we go. Got it moving. That's all you need to do. Maybe a little more. So there you go. Take that out. There was another piece in here that I lost, but that's not important. Now what we want to do, take your carburetor spray. give it a little spray down. Okay. A little in here. Make sure this is pointing away from you, because that's where it's going to jet out. Again, like that, the other direction. Get all the stuff out of there. Not a clean job, whatever. Open up the throttle, open up the choke, and just blow it through. So you can see it clear through the other side. Go in the opposite direction. Give it a quick spray. And that part's clean. Same thing with the float bowl. Clean. Okay, next thing we're going to do, we're going to start assembling this. If you want, you can even clean the outside. You can just keep wiping it down with paper towels. You just keep cleaning until you see all the debris out of there. This is not a full bore carburetor rebuild, just a quickie to get this thing back up and going. You know, get this fuel bowl nice and clean though. We don't want any contaminants when we bolt it back up. Clean the surface again. Generally. You get the idea. Spray and dry, right? There you go. Take your rebuild kit, open it up. Take off your gloves. This is going to be the clean part. We first start by putting this ring into here. That's the first gasket. Take these pieces and see that sharp pin side. Point that into here. And that's the assembly. Install into this hole. Finger tight. We're doing it for now. Not always easy to get it to catch, but you just want to get it in there. Try to spin as much as you can. And the last remaining turns, just get your needle nose pliers and get it in there and tighten it with that. In theory, there should be a socket that should be able to go around that, but I can't find one that fits in such a narrow space. Maybe you can, but this is quick and dirty. It works well.
About like a nice forest green or something.
You know, doesn't have to be crazy tight, but it's got to be in good. I think that's good enough. Okay. I did make a mistake. Let me take that back out. Okay, just take your time. The reason why I took that out, if you notice, the old one has a gasket. Gaskets. So fish the smaller of the two out, put it around. There you go, ready to install again. Alright, let me just tighten it a little bit. Okay, seems to be in there good and tight. Next thing we want to do is put this gasket over here, just like so. Okay, and then we're going to want to slip this little bar that came with the kit back in here, but first we want to slip it partially into this guy. So what we're going to do, let me just I'm going to put this into place like so. Actually goes in this direction. You want to sneak this like in here, although you have to sort of position it in first like that. And then so you want to sneak that in and get it equal on both sides. There you go. Next up, we want to install this bowl back on top, just like this. And we are going to come right back and get the nut for this, the bolt I should say. Hold on. Okay, we're almost done. Get the old bolt, take off the old washer, or you could actually just leave it on. I just put this guy over it like that, and then position it on. And tighten with a 1/2 inch. Not too tight, but tight enough. There you go. Quickie rebuild. Next, we will install this onto the engine. Okay? Stay tuned.